What's going on, people? It is Saturday night and next podcast is live. Yo, huge shout out to everybody in the chat coming in early, getting a good seat. And guys, you definitely picked the right episode to do this, because tonight we have a first time guest on the next podcast. I know it has been a while, but good things come to those who wait. On that note, I do want to give a huge shout out to an awesome supporter within the gaming community. This guy is on Twitter, and he's also in my messages on Xbox Live. I am talking about our brother Crazy Gamer, who was actually rushed to the hospital and had an emergency surgery done, and he's out of the surgery now. He is doing fine. There was a couple I guess you could say complications, but nothing that's in the long term. He made it out, and I just want to give him a huge shout out. Yo, brother, I told you were going to come through, and you did, and I cannot wait to see, 2 to 4 weeks from now, like how much better you are going to be doing. So huge shout out to the Crazy Gamer. But like I said, we have a special guest, and I don't know how he is going to top that, but I am here to introduce somebody who is becoming famous with his gaming opinions on Twitter. And I have been given something to introduce him by. So let's go with the speaker of the Sesh Empire, So Shady.
Thank you very much, Xbot, and thank you so much for the invite to the show. This is definitely one that has been on my list of must-appear-ons. I've been watching it for almost a year and a half or so myself. I love it, and the personalities on it make me laugh. Great opinions on the games. It's a good crew here. I can't wait to maybe come back again after this if all goes well. I hope it does.
Well, thank you for all the endorsements and everything. Now I will let you know the check is in the mail for that. You will be paid, righteously for that. But yeah. I do have to say, with you coming on, you were on Crossfire last week, and we had a lot of fun doing Crossfire together. And one of the people that were on the panel was, of course, the Angry Otter, and I couldn't wait to get you on the show with him, because the chemistry between you and him on Crossfire was definitely interesting. But oh
yes, the Angry Otter himself, Dark Goldblum. I know you're ducking me already just after the one Crossfire. We'll have to meet again somewhere out there sometime.
Yeah, you hear that, Goldblum? He is coming for you, man. But let me go next on the list. Let me start with the person who showed up to the hangout last now. So coming live from the 405, and he's just trying to talk to the intelligent gamers out there. My brother, K Mega!
Who is this new son of a gun here, and why is he kissing your ass? Already a fail. I don't want his ass here anymore. All right, let's get this show popping now, man. It's good to see you here, man. Shady. Man.
You said the same thing to me when you met me.
I did. He sounded corny as hell. I said, who is this corny dude? But I don't know. Hey, Mega, how you doing? I got some coleslaw. What the fuck? Good Lord. So, no. Anyway, I want to give a big shout out to Sleepy Goblin 2D, man. Also to everybody in the chat, man. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. I'm ready to get back into rare form this week and my winning ways. The gameplay will be fire. It's electric. Man, it is. It's just, and we don't have Crap Gamer here to support and to cheerlead the Don. So anyway, let's get to it.
All right, I decided to not bring in gameplay myself. Sorry about that. I felt it might be inappropriate to come in and just destroy everybody on my first appearance.
We will take that for a challenge for the next time you're on, my brother. But K Mega, how do you like the new design when it comes to the gameplay winner? You got like diamonds and everything flowing, gameplay winner on the side. Do you want to see your gameplay up there like that, man?
I never pay attention to the winner that is not me. So therefore, I mean, congratulations to whoever won last week. I have no idea.
It was the one with the super fan.
Collusion. That's all I can say. It's collusion.
Hey man, he's not from Russia. I don't know what you guys are talking.
Exactly. Anyway.
Well,
that looks dope. That looks really dope.
Let me introduce the next man on the list, and I believe he considers himself to be the gameplay king just because of the quality that he puts out here every Saturday for this show. My brother, Predator!
What's going on, everybody? I'm a little under the weather today, so I might not be talking that much. But glad to be here. Welcome, Shady, to the show.
Thank you.
Let's get it on.
Nice. Short and sweet. But let's go next on the list. And of course, you know it is time. Your lights are flickering. It is time for everybody in the chat to stand up, show that respect, kiss that ring. The Don.
Yes, the Don from Next Podcast, not the Don that introduced the Xbox One. I just want to clarify that.
You are
Since
not
Crossfire
a
last
gamer,
night.
sir. You are not a gamer.
I'm like, oh man, I haven't even met this guy. And he's, oh, it's not me. So,
Yo, when he first started saying that, I thought he meant you at first as well, and then I'm listening to what he's saying. I'm like, oh, Matrick, that's what he's talking
yeah,
about.
exactly.
Matrick.
That's exactly who he was talking about. I thought it was funny because other people thought it in the chat, but it's all good. He's a good dude. It's good to see other developers go out there and just talk with you guys. I mean, it needs to be on other people's shoulders, not just mine. So, and Next Podcast is always my home. So let's do this and let's get it started.
Nice. Well, I got a text message. I'm gonna give a huge shout out, of course, to the Angry Otter, who could not be here today, and I don't know, his attendance gets a little sketchy when it comes to this show. Something we might have to talk about. Okay, and shout out to O Snaps, whose headset doesn't even work on the new PC. She's got to adjust it, and that is the thing about being a PC gamer. It's not just plug and play. You got to go and you got to fix everything on your PC. So have fun with that, O Snaps.
You're saying it's not for amateurs.
She got a nice PC too. She got a 1060 graphics card.
Everything is very respectable in what she got.
R5 processor.
Yeah, she'll be able to get it done as far as all that stuff goes and enjoy herself. So
nice. Well, guys, the first topic I want to get into is it's something that Goldblum put in our DM, and I thought it was really interesting. I wanted to get the panel's thoughts on this. And as usual, the first question is going to go to our guest. So Shady, EA has come out and let's see, Stevivor is the name of the website, did an article, and they were talking about EA using a quote-unquote moral compass now when it comes to loot boxes in games. Like, they're going to decide through quote-unquote morality whether or not to put loot boxes in certain games, to not put them in other games, but they're going to use morality, they say, as their main tool here. Now, we all know what happened with Star Wars Battlefront 2. I got to ask you, Shady, do you think this is just something to possibly maybe get people to be like, well, EA's not so bad, and still let them put loot crates in games? What do you think was the reasoning behind EA coming out and saying that they're going to use morality now, but they're not just going to drop loot crates indefinitely?
Well, first of all, I'm going to put this out there, and it's a very unpopular opinion. I'm a huge Star Wars Battlefront 2 fan. It's my multiplayer game of the year. Last year, I put in huge time in it. There has not been one time I played the Starfighter Assault mode and just the ground deathmatch mode. I'm not big on the team deathmatch or the heroes versus heroes. And I've never had a match ever where I'm like, oh, it's because of those cards that I died. Ever. I've never once felt impeded by the fact that these cards exist. I think that they have a way bigger impact visually than they do during the gameplay of that game. That's just me. Other people have had different experiences, but I'm not on board with the hate that they got with that, but I'm glad it happened because the industry did need a wake-up call. I'm just, upset that it had to be my Star Wars that took the hit. But I think that it was a necessary thing, and I think moving forward, they will use this moral compass. It's a little bit upsetting, but not surprising that they weren't using morals before when it came to putting these types of things in. Like, oh, you weren't doing it before? What the fuck?
That was my first thought. It's like,
what were you using,
Where was your morality before? Was it just like, screw it, like, whatever we're going to do to make money, let's do it?
Yeah, that's right. You leave the morality at the front door when you show up at EA, it seemed, until just recently. So, I mean, it's a nice thing to hear. We'll see if it falls into practice, of course. But I think that the industry in general, EA specifically, took a serious spanking when it came to what happened with Star Wars. And I think we're going to continue to see microtransactions in games, but I don't think we're going to be pulling the loot box wheel, so to speak, and just getting random items so much anymore. That seems to have really fallen out of favor with the community, and I think we're going to see a lot less of it. So,
Now,
you know,
Shady.
I'd like to believe them.
Well, Shady, to me, I think this loot crate thing is a little. It's gotten blown a little bit out of proportion to the point where even Turn 10, when it comes to Forza Motorsport 7, now there was no like actual in like your money being spent on loot crates and stuff for Forza Motorsport, but yet they took out the prize crates that you could have got with in-game currency there.
That's right, and I believe I've even heard the Don say that he enjoyed those crates. You get the cards that get you abilities to make maybe some extra money on the side, or maybe earn a car for cheap, stuff like that. Like, it was enjoyable for some, but just the name Loot Crate is so dirty today that people just run with it. Like, reviews of the game were talking points because of Loot Crates that technically aren't what people think. Like you said, you don't buy them with real world money; you just earn them through gameplay, which is what people enjoy.
I gotta say, yo, huge shout out to Peter Young. He goes, "Why does EA get the hate when you have when you have quote unquote scum like Activision getting away with everything?" And I gotta say, that is a good point. Like, there was a point in time where EA was looked at like pretty much just as bad as Activision. I feel like EA did a lot of work to kind of like clean up their image, and then the Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out, and it was almost like they were put back in the same spot. I don't know. I think this whole EA thing is more kind of like PR speak. They're just trying to get people on their side while still putting in loot crates for future games. But K Mega, what do you think about this? Do you think that maybe am I thinking the right way, or what? How do you think this has gone about, man?
No, I have to agree with Shady on this. I mean, as we're looking at Don's gameplay, this was another game that got caught up into the microtransactions
on a single player game.
Yeah, and yeah, it was a little disingenuous if you know from how they kind of tried to do it. But again, like, these games were getting just ripped to shreds off of decisions that mostly adults make on what they want to do in a game. Now, look, I don't condone anybody that wants to buy a game. I mean, that wants to play to win. But when it comes to any other type of microtransaction or whatever that somebody wants to spend their hard-earned dollars on, that's on them. I can't be in anybody else's pocket. So, and then Battlefront 2 was another game that I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good game. But of course, the people that I was playing with, once this kind of spread it like the plague, then everybody stopped playing it, and so then I kind of stopped playing it. But it's a thing. Like, look, man, these things aren't going to go away. You know, it's up to the gamers to decide if they want to have microtransactions or DLC, because if they speak with their wallets, then this stuff will go away. But it's not going to go away because people, they want their thing quick, fast, in a hurry, and loot crates is just another part of that facet that's being part of gaming. I mean, it's a dirty word right now, but it's also helping the devs go further with some of the games that they're making. I understand that a lot of it goes with greed, but it's just like you were saying earlier, EA has been getting scrutinized while Activision just keeps on pressing the button, pressing the gas on your ass.
No campaign.
Yeah, no campaign. I'm not even worried about this beta, and there are people that's out there that's still, going to buy this game in droves, and then they're going to be paying for DLC and things of that nature. So I mean, it's a sad situation, but I don't know. EA is just digging themselves more into a hole. The thing of it is that, look, if you shouldn't even bring up the word loot crate for a long time until somebody else gets the brunt of the pain. Not now. It's too early.
Mega, I just want to ask you: Are they being sincere? Do you feel like they're being sincere with coming out and saying this in this article?
They might be trying to, but it's not going to come off sincere. I mean, you've already tried to sneak in these crates, and it's like what Shady said as well. It's like, look, I've never one time spent money on any of those crates. Never. I've used in-game currency all the time, and the fact of it is that, look, the options were there. You did play against players that seem to have a stronger advantage in you, but to me, it's kind of like, I'm here to enjoy the game and just to play it. If you're going to play against a cheater, you play against a cheater. It's different to me playing in a shooter than it is like a fighting game or a racing game. So I didn't take it to heart like other gamers did. I'm not saying that they're right or wrong on that issue, but it's to me is that look, EA should just stay away from that word. Don't even mention it, regardless of how sincere they may
Not
try
at
to be.
all.
Just stop. Just
Come
cut
up
it
with a
off.
new name.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm
You know what I'm
saying?
saying? Say Fun Box or some
Yeah.
shit. Don't say Loot Crate.
It's prize pack.
Yeah, care package. You know what I'm saying? Something, but don't do that. Don't do that. So they screwed themselves on that.
Nice.
I just wanted to jump in real quick if I could here. I wanted to show my disdain for when people say like these games are pay to win or these loot boxes are pay to win. Pay to win is like when you're in the middle of a match with someone and all of a sudden in the middle of the match it just ends and a message comes up and is like you lose because your opponent paid $5. That's a pay to win microtransaction. I don't think paying for like a slightly better blaster or maybe a bigger grenade or this or that is instantly going to make someone win. It can increase their chances.
Make it easier.
It can make their chances go up a little bit, no doubt. But again, like I said, like I consider myself a pretty damn good game player. I've been playing for the better part of 3 decades, since way back in the 1900s. And I just don't see these microtransactions or quote unquote pay to win as being anything as egregious and serious as a lot of people out there make it out to be. Before there was microtransactions for money, we were using the currency of time. So you put in all this time, and that doesn't necessarily make everyone a better player, but it was rewarding them with better gear. I've got a couple of friends that are rich on money, poor on time. They're good gamers, and they're tired of going up against people that are subpar gamers that just have better gear because they get to sit at home all day and play. Yeah. They're like, how would I peel off an hour or two of my wage and get myself caught up to everybody because I have the skill level. I'm tired of my guns and armor maybe not being up to snuff. So it helps some of those people out there. I mean, this system is ripe for abuse by both companies and maybe even some of the players. But I don't think that is initially why it was there. I think it was initially put in to try and level the playing field from guys that can know life games when they first come out. And not only do they now have the advantage because they know the maps and the game, but they have just better equipment because the games reward players via time in. And I think that these microtransactions were supposed to kind of even it out. And they do a decent job at it. If they step over the line, like many people thought Star Wars did, the community lets them know. So I don't think they can even get that far out of hand because gamers are passionate and we're not going to sit by and just get destroyed by microtransactions. We're willing to let it go to a certain extent, but no further.
I think when it comes to those, people are more afraid that it's really going to catch on. I mean, you see like Facebook games, which, you know, definitely cater to a casual gamer or whatnot, and you can always spend money there. I've seen my mom and my sister spend like hundreds of dollars over a month on a Facebook game to progress and to move through and stuff like that. And I think people they get kind of nervous when it gets close to like console gaming, a more hardcore like gaming scenario. They just don't want to see the majority of like casual gamers kind of outspeak their thoughts and their ideas about video games. But I do want to say, Shady, with that argument right there, with that kind of like explanation, I believe there's EA, Activision, and a couple other companies are looking through your portfolio right now. You might have a new job by the end of this show.
I'm a lobbyist. I'm a lobbyist for hire as well.
You might be working for them. Yeah. While we're here, let me give a huge shout out. There's a couple people in the chat. First off, you know, Lady Foxfire is in the chat. Noof Nukem is in the chat as well. Jazzy Noop, one of our sponsors for this channel, for this show. And of course, Delirium Blades. Yo, shout out to everybody checking out this show. I hope you are enjoying it. But Predator, what do you think about this whole EA article? Do you feel like EA is being sincere? And like, if they weren't using morality before, what were they using to gauge what they were doing, man?
They're using their wallet, man. They're thinking about money, man. That's the thing about this generation of games. Like in the past, people would just make games because they enjoyed making them, and they wanted to see the reaction from the people that played what they created. Now it's just like, it's more or less, you know, let me get you on this game as long as possible, and slow feed you this shit, and you know, like loot crates and, you know, skins and, you know, DLC and stuff like that. I remember when we never had to pay for DLC. Like everything that you bought when you bought the game, everything they created in the game was in the game. And now, the way things are now, like every game now not only has DLC, it has skins, it has different packs, it has all these different updates and stuff like that you have to pay for.
Yeah, but Fred, those old games, did you never play them and beat them and like wish to the gaming god RNGesus himself for more? Like, I wish there was more, please. And now
Waiting
that
for a
there
sequel
is,
at least.
Well, no,
right?
back.
people
I'm
accuse
thinking
them
like
of
I'm going
chopping
back
games
further
up,
than
right?
that. Like I'm talking about like in the '90s and the '80s and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, I mean, I always wanted more and more, and not always wanted to wait for a sequel. And it's just kind of like now that we have that option, it seems a lot of people are really quick to point the finger and think that it's as shady as it can get, and they're cutting out material as opposed to adding material. Like I think they're adding content, not holding it back. To be honest,
Well, back then I was more prone to play a game multiple times. Like I played Contra a gazillion times,
it
right?
only
Yeah.
took 25 minutes to
Yeah, I
45
mean,
minutes
you
to
know,
beat the game, though. So I
but
mean, there's a
not
little
just
bit of
Contra. I mean, like there's other games I've played multiple times in the last several generations ago before a lot
yes.
of people's times in here. But the newer generation, like I play these games and I'm like done with them. Like I'm not the type of person that's going to go back and replay it just for shits and giggles. Like, you know, when I had my friends come over, we play a game together. We play like, you know, I won't say Madden, but like we play a couch co-op game. We play that like religiously for weeks, multiple times. I don't do that now. Maybe it's because I'm older, but with this whole EA thing, I think with them, they've kind of like maybe I don't want to say they're being sincere because we've seen their practices in the past, but I think they realized the mistake they made with Battlefront.
Or
You
they
know?
realized the mistake of not covering it up better, maybe.
Yeah, that may be the thing too. But now that it's out in the open, and I don't think it's one of those things where they're trying to, you know, get back in the graces of gamers or anything like that. Um, because they still have Madden Ultimate Teams. They're still going to make their money another way. I just think they're going to be a little bit more open and decide what games need this kind of these practices and what games don't. I think that's what they mean by they're trying to be a little smarter at what they're doing.
All right. I mean, at the end of the day, like, when K Mega brought up like, Shadow of War, and about those loot boxes and everything like that, I thought it was a little ridiculous that people were complaining about loot boxes on a single player game. Like, if somebody wants to spend an extra $100 on their own single player experience, I don't see why anybody would have an issue with that. When it comes to multiplayer and that pay to win aspect, or pay to have your chances, kind of like magnified to win.
Yes,
All
it's
right?
much better.
All right. That's when I get kind of iffy when it comes to this. But I do want to hear from the Don. You know, as a developer, I want to hear, what do you think about EA coming out in this article? What do you think it means? Do you think they are sincere about this, man?
What is a moral compass, and can you buy it on Amazon? Is my question. No,
I'm
is
sure
this
you could search it?
is this an internal system they're trying to validate if
They're using
if their teams should have it or not, or what what is it?
They have like a group of people, a group of developers that, like, as games are being designed, they're looking at the game and they're using this morality compass between this group of people in deciding on whether or not the game should have loot crates, how it's supposed to be implemented, instead of just, I guess, kind of like throwing them in the way they did with Star Wars.
Okay, so they've always had this.
I would think so.
No. So they've already no. I'll tell you right now. They've always had this internally. EA is a big company, so they don't do things by chance. Like when they design a game, they choose frame rate early on. They engineer their game around the particular frame rate. They do double blind tests on a lot of different stuff. They have surveys internally within companies. They sometimes will send builds to other studios under the EA umbrella, and they would give their opinions because it's, they want their opinions because they're not the people working on the game, sort of thing. So they're a publisher all about numbers, as far as that goes. So the things with the loot boxes in the Star Wars game, like, I'm going to say this right now, that was a joint decision between Disney and EA. EA cannot do anything outside of Disney's permission, vice versa. So that needs to be set straight, number one. Okay. Number two, I think people need to play a game to figure out if it's an unbalanced thing. And gameplay is shady. I played the game. I have never felt like that someone had because it pops up the cards or whatever perks they have when you die. The percentage of any time I have had someone kill me, it's really not a problem. So that's really comes down to game balancing, what you get from that, and how matchmaking is done as well. So when people look at these things like loot crates and stuff like that, people just take things completely out of context and they want to be upset. And EA is one of those companies that do a tiniest little thing, they will be criticized for it. They're just one of those companies in the industry. So I moral compass, what is this, all this stuff they have internally, they're just giving it a name and letting you guys know that.
And they're coming out and basically saying, even though that this is what they were doing before, they're coming out and really letting the public know about stuff that goes on within EA.
Yeah, they need a more public system, right? Like, here's the thing: it's like a bunch of developers in house agree upon something. That doesn't really mean anything to the gamer, to be totally honest with you. When you have a group of gamers that say 70% of them support the way it's currently set up, well, it's kind of not EA's problem anymore. That's the population. That's how they feel about it, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they can point to that, because I think there's always this loud minority thing people always bring up, right? And sometimes it's a minority, sometimes it's a majority, whatever it may be, and sometimes it's just a public perception issue when it comes to stuff. But regardless, if you had some sort of statistical number you can go off of, then you can realize, hey, EA does have the best interest of their customer base, whatever that decision actually is, in regards to that. So, I think they need more of an external system than an internal system. But EA is not the big bad company people think they are. They're not clubbing baby seals. They're not.
I didn't think so, man.
They're not dumping toxic waste in our rivers. They're not doing anything like that.
I think Activision, you might find some proof of that, but that's where I would go with it, man.
I mean, but that's the thing. Is like when companies become a little more distant from the passionate fans that play the game, the more evil they look to those consumers. But the reality is that's just kind of how big business is. And I don't try to sound insensitive or anything like that, but I've worked at companies where I've had the few opportunities to sit at the big kids table for 2 or 3 meetings, and I saw how all that stuff operates. And it's not with emotion, it's methodical. It's what it is. It's not, hey, I'm going to finally be able to buy my hollowed out volcano sort of thing to be the evil supervillain I want to be. It's not that. And then sometimes, they realize, and I've seen some people just wear the weight on their shoulders where they made a bad decision and they have to cut staff. I've seen that. And they don't like try to put it out there or anything like that, but I've seen how that weighs on them. Like it's hard on them in regards to that. And it's hard for the people that are obviously, have to go find a new job and stuff like that. So like, I think there's this weird disconnect that happens with big corporations, and people always want to drive a emotional argument.
With us being Xbox owners and Xbox gamers for the most part, I mean, I think we can understand that just pretty much above a lot of other people. You know what I'm saying? Because Microsoft is that evil empire, and Xbox, I remember back in the day, was spying on you for the FBI and the CIA and all that good stuff. So
and there's nothing wrong with someone having an emotional view or opinion on things. I think that's okay. I think that's what makes us human, right?
Well,
but
I was gonna say, it's funny that you're talking emotions, because I did want to move on to the next topic.
Go ahead.
Hold on real quick. I just wanted to say, Don, it was you a while ago that was talking about how the microtransactions need to be appealing. Like they want to come out and people are like, I need that. I want that really bad. But as far as gameplay goes, they need to be more or less balanced still. It can't be this giant standout in your face advantage because it's not broken.
Because then what happens is people want to play the game, so therefore there's no players, and if there's no players, then people don't buy the transactions, and they kind of eat their own on that one. So
absolutely. And there's a good example I can put out real quick. There's a card in Star Wars that makes your ship turn 40% faster. 40% faster turn radius, right? Like visually that sounds insane. Like this guy's going to turn twice as fast almost. But we're talking about a game where you can do a 180 in less than 1.5 seconds. Like you're already turned around in less than a second and a half. So what really is 40% more? 7.5 seconds to turn around. It's not that much of an advantage. You almost can't even notice. but your eyes looking at that card are just like, oh my god, I need those cards. So people are willing to spend money or spend their time playing the game to grind to get those cards. So I think you nailed it. Why they have to make them visually appealing, but gameplay wise still fair.
Yeah, well, and then here's the thing: is customers are always going to naturally go to the shortest way to get an answer about something, right? So the problem is not a lot of people are going to be willing to try the game and figure it out.
That's
like,
right.
Is it really giving them an advantage or disadvantage? So that was, I would say, the only short side on EA's part of everything that I've experienced and played myself. I don't think I played as much of the game as you, so Shady, but I have played it. I have played it more than people watched it and then claimed that it's unfair, right? So
yeah. And it's like if you're unwilling to play and you're just looking in at the cards and advantages, quote unquote, that are available, it looks daunting. Like if you don't have that, you're not going to compete no matter how good you are. When the reality of it is it's nothing like that. 9 times out of 10, you're getting shot down by some guy's blaster, not a grenade or a turret or any other weird card that he might have. You just got shot because that's the way the game is. You shoot each other with blasters.
I've had more of an issue with bad spawn points in the game than anything else.
Yeah.
I'm going to be interested to see, because this article is definitely, it's a reaction to Star Wars. So I guess I'm interested to see what they're going to do in the future, like how they're going to kind of, put some water in between like Star Wars and what happened there and kind of like the backlash and where they're going for the future games.
That's my fear, though. Like, that's if this didn't work, what are they going to try next? Because it doesn't stop publishers from trying things.
No.
So the next thing may be not as upfront, but could be even worse, right? So,
well, we got a game coming around the corner, like early next year with Anthem, and we're gonna have to see exactly what's going on with that game in detail in terms of loot rates, progression, and all that good stuff. But I do want to put out kind of like a special alert. There's somebody on Twitter, and he is a YouTuber, right? And I didn't even put this in the topics for tonight, but it's something I think we need to talk about. Somebody I used to watch a lot, and he goes by the name of the Red Dragon. I've been noticing a few things on Twitter for the last few months, but something today really bugged me.
You're gonna get messy tonight.
Are you talking about emotions now?
Yeah. That's why when you said emotions, I was like, man, I wanted to segue, and then you're like, no, we gotta keep talking.
No, I'm gonna reinstate it. Emotions, keep going.
All right. So speaking of emotions, I am highly upset right now because a YouTuber that I have watched for years, this generation, going by the name of the Red Dragon, went out on Twitter today. For people who don't know, Red Dragon actually sold his Xbox, and there was this whole big thing about it, but he sold it a while ago. He goes out on Twitter today, and I'm gonna read it exactly how it's written here. It's like, if you were me, what would you buy to play Red Dead Redemption 2? It's like an Xbox One X to get best visuals, even though I've never regretted selling it and have needed it 0 times since parting, or PS4 Pro, where I can also play games like Spider-Man, God of War, Last of Us 2, etc. I will
the results were the best.
I will let you guys
last
know.
Time I saw it.
Well, I didn't even put in. It is a poll. I didn't even put in the poll, but I will let you know I am unsubscribing to this gentleman starting tonight, and I am not dealing with anything he says, because to me, he has fallen off, and he has fallen so far that to me it looks like he is just putting stuff out there for clicks. There is no rhyme or reason. If you have followed the Red Dragon for any extended period of time before kind of like this BS started going on, he was a really good gaming YouTuber. He would talk about Sony, he would talk about Xbox, he was mainly on PC, but he never went these kind of like dark alley ways to get clicks and views and stuff like that.
In fact, he was the opposite in the past.
Dude,
right?
I absolutely loved his channel.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I used to tout this man all the time. Yeah,
Mega,
my earlier videos, I used to listen to them all the time.
Yeah, well, Mega, since you were a fan as well, I got to ask you, what do you think about this tweet? Like, this really, I know there has been some back and forth going on the past few months, but to me, this one kind of took the cake because there was no real need for this at all. Being a gamer, if you decided that you were gonna, sell your Xbox and you have your PlayStation and your PC, like, there was no need to rile people back up and to get into a console war debate again, like, out of the blue. Dude, what do you think about the Red Dragon, his tweet, and why, man?
Clicks. Sold his soul to get to become more popular. Actually, well, I should say more popular, but just to become more recognizable. Look, I don't get this whole, I got to do this. I got to switch to be one way. It's one thing about like Angry Joe. I used to love Angry Joe, and I still like when he does his reviews.
He's still entertaining to me.
He's still entertaining, but man, compared to, you go to his older stuff when he was over there kissing the 360's ass, and now from what he's doing, I mean, like these PC eccentric guys that try to slay to try to be on one end, and then they see where all the popularity is, and then they switch over. I don't really listen to too many of them anymore. And Red Dragon, I thought, was one of those people that didn't go that direction. I thought he just stayed even keel, but he's flipped, and it's one of those things to me. Is like, I get it. You take YouTube for money or for whatever, and I have no problem with people being critical for the Xbox. I mean, if you really want to be honest, your Xbox fans is up there with the PC fans of being the overly critical towards their box of preference.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing to where he wasn't already saying something that may have got the ultra Xbox fan upset. But like you said, Bot, he was more even keel. Now he's just going overboard. Like these questions to say, like, I mean, if you're a true gamer, this was something that I said to All Day. He was over here he was trying to hawk me about stuff, right? So this is what I said to All Day here recently. He bragged about how he got rid of his One X. I said, look, it doesn't matter if you're a PlayStation fan, a Nintendo fan, an Xbox fan, or a PC fan, a mobile phone gamer. I will never sell a console if I'm claiming myself to be a true gamer. Now, look, if it's on one end where, hey, look, man, I'm having a rough time. I got bills to pay. I see that, right? But
or you trade it to do an upgrade or something like that. That's right. Understandable, right?
You're using for to upgrade to like, and I even said that. I said, look, I can understand you getting rid of the X to get the PlayStation 5 whenever that comes out. I see that. That's nothing wrong with that. But to just brag about that you got rid of a console and you claim to be a gamer, that right there should prove that these people are fraudulent. Just real talk. I mean, there's no cutting about it.
You can be a gamer.
I'm not going to sell my PlayStation because I don't play my PlayStation as much as my Xbox. It's not going anywhere unless I upgrade it to the Pro or to the PlayStation 5. That's how that works.
Well, see, I don't have a problem. Like, I don't see that with you. I think gamers, if they are truly disappointed in the hardware that they got for some rhyme or reason, personal preference, you can always sell it. But my whole thing is, you sold it so far back, and, I know you're a YouTuber. You have more than enough subscribers. You get more than enough views and stuff like that. It seems like you're dipping into the crumb side of YouTube just to get more. And to me, that feels like it delegitimizes his name on YouTube.
I have more respect for the person I have more respect for the gamer out there that says, I just don't want to buy an Xbox, or I just don't want to buy a Switch, or I don't want to buy a PlayStation, than to hear somebody say that I stood in line for a product, spent however much money for it, and then I just got rid of it because it's just the fun thing for me to do. I just don't get that. Look, I have not been the biggest fan of the PlayStation 4. I'm just not. For the games, they've had some really solid games, but for the console itself, the features and all of that, no. But I'm not getting rid of it.
I do gotta say, I like the controller with the speaker and the controller and doing extra things with the controller, but they haven't really. They did that like the first year or so, and you don't see anything from. I remember Infamous, like spray painting graffiti on a wall. You would literally use the controller, shake the controller up, move it in different directions to paint like whatever graffiti you were putting on the wall, and they just never really did that before. I thought that was, they haven't done it after that, and I thought that was a cool feature that they could have put in more games or whatnot. But
Yeah.
yo,
No,
Predator, what do you think about the Red Dragon? Have you followed him you know, on YouTube? Were you a subscriber or anything? And what do you think about that tweet? Kind of like, it just, to me, it's like he's dipping into the crumb side for clicks and views, even though he has so many thousands of subscribers, gets so many thousand views and whatnot per video. What do you think, man?
You know, I follow him. I used to listen to his
Dude,
YouTube
I
channel.
wanted him on the show at one point. Like,
I think I've been on a podcast with him before. I'm not sure which one it was, one of the 50 I've been on, but like, and he's got a great radio voice. He's excellent in what he does when he's just be neutral. If that's what you want to do, just be neutral. But when he sold his X, I think he got a lot of backlash for that, because like, you spent $500 on this. I get it. He got his money back or whatever, got some money back on it. But like, I have all consoles as well, and I pick and choose which one I play my games on. Just keep it. Like, I'm looking at my Switch right now. I never use this motherfucker. I've been threatening to sell it for like months, and I still not gotten rid of it, because I'm pretty sure there's something gonna come out that I'm gonna want to play. I've already dropped the money on the damn thing. I might as well keep it, right? So like, I just don't understand his whole purpose of selling his X. And now, like, even this tweet that he put out, it was so one-sided. Like, it's like, I had an X. I don't care if I don't have it anymore. But if you like he's really gonna go out and buy another X now. You know?
Wait. If you don't care, why do you bring it up?
Exactly.
Thank you. Right.
Like I said, it's not like he's gonna go out and buy another X. I think it's just more of the thing is, it's not on the game he's talking about isn't particularly on PC, and that's the only reason he's even bringing this up. If it was on PC, we wouldn't even have heard anything from this guy.
do you
I know
think
he has
so?
a PC. Rick. Oh yeah, he has a PC, and like, now he's like, you know, do I want to get an X because I know it would look better on the X than it does on a PlayStation Pro? However, if it was on PC, he wouldn't be talking shit. The whole reason he got rid of his X in the first place was because almost all of Microsoft exclusives, well, all of Microsoft exclusives are most likely going to be on PC, with the exception of maybe Halo, maybe, you know, give or take.
Next
I'm sure there'll
Halo's
be a
gonna
few.
on PC, man.
I'm sure there'll be a few they hold to the Xbox, but case in point, his whole point was, I don't need it because I can get all those games, those exclusives, on my PC.
Yeah.
Here's a game that he can't get on PC. And now he's regretting the fact that he got rid of his X. I think he does care. I think it does bother him, to be honest with you, because this game isn't on PC. He's got a Pro, I'm sure, and he's gonna most likely. The thing is, if he's got a Pro, he's just gonna play it there. And if he's just such a glory hound over graphics and stuff like that, that's what this whole argument's about.
So do you think he's trying to justify his argument why he sold it, and that's why he worded it that way?
That's when, back in the past, when he got rid of his X, that's what his justification was. I can play all these games on my PC.
But he said he hasn't regretted it since.
Yeah, but then
you're starting to say that, like, me maybe regretting it, and the fact that he's wording it that way is more of like him just not being genuine with himself. Do you think?
I think he's looking for validation to some
Yeah,
degree.
from the community.
Yeah,
Which I think is funny because it's sitting at like 55%
yeah,
vote
for the
to
Xbox. He's got a 5-day.
not getting the results that he wanted, right? He's asking the PlayStation guys, hey, right, guys, come on, vote for me. And they're not.
Yeah.
It's the Xbox guys are like, what do you, obviously you get
crazy? Like, what the
Right,
hell?
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, he was once labeled an Xbox guy, and that's because he would just, I like Biden. I think like Fred and anybody else to listen to him, he just brought up good facts that made this seem positive towards the Xbox instead of just falling behind all the rest of the stuff that was going on that just seemed to just knock down Xbox. But like I said, this whole generation has brought out and shown how the credibility or the integrity of how so many people are.
Review tech now.
That's the sad thing about it. Like, look, I came into this to talk about games to have a good time, not to go after people and say anything and try to get clicks by trying to talk shit to everybody out there in a negative light. I'm here to talk about video games. And if you are a person that claims to be a gamer, then you're gonna that's your thing. If you've been playing on the PlayStation from day one, like I have, if you've been playing on the Nintendo from day one, actually, like I have, Atari, hell, Sega, whatever, and you had those consoles, then there's something that goes out to the younger gamer to just express, hey, this is what I did, and it was a great time for this and for that. This is what the negative, this is what the positive was. But to go into this to be just so slated and say, oh no, it's the new hot topic. Once money got involved into this bullshit, it just doing it for everybody. That's why we have the problems with IGN and everything else, man. These big time YouTubers are selling their soul for this dollar, and I don't, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think this is ever going to get any better unless the public starts wanting to just stay away from some of these people out there that sell their soul.
Well, unfortunately, when it comes down to it, in the society that we live in, and I'm not saying this is everybody out there, but there are a lot of people that really kind of get into the entertainment aspect of drama. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, these bigger YouTubers, they built a foundation where, like with the Red Dragon, like I said, I subscribe to him. I watched so many videos throughout the last few years from him. So I was putting in for his views, his thumbs up, all that good stuff. But he created that foundation, and now it's to the point where there is such a group out there that deals with entertainment in the form of drama that he is dipping into that, and he's discrediting his own self, his name as a quality like gaming YouTuber, and to me that's disappointing. Don, I know you jumped in at certain points in time, but was there anything that you wanted to add in on this whole Red Dragon situation?
Man, I never really been invested in the guy. To be totally honest with you, I didn't say he was bad or anything like that. I've never been invested in in what he puts out there or anything like that. He's always been a PC guy. Nothing wrong with that. But he likes to throw these little jab at console gamers. And, like there's a typical PC argument, so I can't totally blame him for that sort of thing. But this is a situation, and he just has to be honest that PC doesn't get everything. I mean, just if you want to play the best experiences in gaming, you really kind of have to keep up with the Joneses, with the most popular consoles out there, and you have to buy some of the most powerful PC components and make a really good rig. If you want to play the best of the best, that's what you got to do. There's no way around it. That's how it works, right? Mm-hmm. So, if he really does want to play the best of the best, he has to be like just honest with himself. And then, and I have the same rule like I had for my X, as just like anything else. Like I have to have 3 pieces of software that I can only have that experience on that machine, right? For me to rationalize it. So, I think that's a good adult rule for him, even, to be honest with you, right? So I mean, he can do what he wants. If it comes off as selling out, I mean, that's something he has to deal with, right? Like this is his business, and the way he wants to handle himself, he has to choose how that's going to be, and live with the consequences. I think honestly, just like IGNs and stuff like that, like I don't care if they disappear at this point. Like I really don't. I don't care at all. And if someone is in a certain way that people call them out and stuff like that, and it's the free market. I really feel like there's good gamers out there that represent each platform that has views that are very well balanced, and I want to see those people rise to the top. So if someone's legitimately giving bullshit out there, we don't need them. It's fine. Let's prop up the people that have something to say, right? Someone that can give an opinion but can back it up why they have that opinion. It may not be an opinion that I may agree with, right? But it's an opinion that's based on some facts, right? And I'm okay with that. Let's get back to sharing games, not just like trying to prove that I bought something better than somebody else. Like that's it's like, I mean, so many people have lost focus, and I really feel that the gamers that get that it's not about getting a one up on somebody else. Those are the people that I honestly think are going to fulfill that void that's in there in the public space, and I look forward to that. I honestly think those people are going to pop up in the next 2 or 3 years, and they won't see what's coming. They'll just be themselves, and next thing you know, they'll they'll be a personality that everyone references to, and they would have earned whatever they had, and that I'm okay with that. So.
All right, and I know Shady, you have chimed in here and there, but is there anything you really want to go in on when it comes to Red Dragon, and then we will move on to the next topic.
Yeah, I'll just make it quick here. I wasn't a follower either. I mean, I've obviously clicked on a video or two of his on YouTube because his stuff goes through my feed, but I haven't clicked since, and I don't know how long. But it seems to me that he's just willing to play a little bit of the console war game that not everyone enjoys taking part in or even witnessing for that matter. And it's kind of like the quick and easy path at the expense of, like what you said, his credibility to a lot of people. They don't want to see that type of ass hattery. And unfortunately, there is a segment of the community that seems to revel in it. So
Yes.
I'm just not too sure. It's not for me. It's definitely not why I enjoy my video games or partake in shows like this. Is to get into it drama style with people.
Shady,
It's
not
my bag.
My whole thing with him is he already had it set. He got to a place that a lot of people that have, less subscribers are trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? Some people are using console wars to try to inflate their channel to get to that point, but then they want to move on afterwards. There's other people, of course, that just love drama. But he was at a place where a lot of YouTubers would love to be, and then he takes a step back to get more.
So, but you're saying he has made it?
Like, he got to a point where he had a substantial base. He was able to talk common sense. He was putting it out there. It was, to the point where thousands and thousands of people were watching his videos. So he was voicing a common sense opinion. His opinion was going out in there into the gaming community and the gaming industry. He made it at that point in time, in my opinion. I don't do stuff on this channel for clicks, and it surprises me every day when I look at the subscriber base now. And I know that I always say that this isn't the end, this is only the beginning, because I feel there's still so much more that I can do, in terms of my channel. But I want to get to that point where I can talk about my opinion with common sense in it and have it go out into the gaming community, into the gaming industry, and actually make an impact somewhere. That's what I want my channel to be. And he was already there and then jumped back 3 steps to get into console war and stuff.
I think it was the money. It was the money and the clicks. Like you said, he was big enough and started to make it that I think he actually started seeing like countable money from YouTube. And why not take the quick and easy path to have those numbers swell up even more? So now that you are being paid decently-ish by your videos, it goes up even more. So now you're getting paid well because you pander to the larger audience
and
out
he
there,
just
which
got,
is the PlayStation guys.
I think within this past year, he just got his girlfriend over here. Into the country. I believe they just got married, so I know he could be thinking about income and stuff like that on that.
He's got a kid too, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, it's all fun and games until all of a sudden you're forced to financially make
until
it.
Until life hits and you're like, holy shit. Yeah.
and that's the thing that makes it so problematic is that, look, I mean, it's a catch-22 because I totally understand if your income is off of YouTube or things like that, but why not stream? You already have a fan base. The fan base will follow you. I mean, look, I'm just not a person that just changes their stripes just because it's just the way how the wind blows. It's really sad to me. Also, with a point that Don was making was about with the PC. It's not all correct up. There was 3 games that I wanted to put on gameplay this week, and they worked a month ago. They don't work anymore. And I'm like, what the hell? And it's like, I've wasted my money on these games, even though I didn't pay that much for the 3 games I was going to show. But it was kind of like, damn, and I don't know, man. Like, look,
Omega, you put Need for Speed The Run on, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I was so happy when you did that. Like, I played that game so much, man. I am
a dope game.
1 achievement away, and that's including DLC achievements. I am 1 achievement away from like 100%ing that game. I had so much fun with that game.
Yeah, that's a dope game. It's just the thing of it's just a sad situation, man. I like I said, for people that you look up to, you respect.
I'm disappointed, man.
You kind of you want to patent your style to what they were. And now when you look and see that, it's like I said, the reason why I bring up Angry Joe all the time is because I want to be funny, and then what I'm saying, and have a little pizzazz, and just have my channel to where it can be to where I can put in little skits and things like that. I had a whole big view like that, and then to come to see that once the new generation started, and to see the change that happened just immediately, I was kind of like, whoa. Like I said, there is nothing wrong with saying, look, PlayStation is the better console this generation, or PlayStation is kicking Xbox
popular.
ass.
It was the most popular
well, I'm just saying, like, for that individual that believes that I have no problem with you saying that. You can say that to me all day. Okay, I got you. But it's not all bad everywhere else. That's the thing that I don't understand. Gaming is more popular than it's ever been. Everything is doing well. So regardless who's number one or number three, they're all doing well, and they all have benefits.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, you're talking about benefits when it comes to gaming and stuff like that. There was a couple new kind of like gameplay reveals this past week that like I wanted to touch base on with the panel, see what you guys thought. Let's start with the first one, the one that's really caused a lot of major buzz, which is Red Dead Redemption 2. So Shady, have you seen the gameplay on that, man? And if you have, let us know what you think, dude.
No, I'm not into that trash. No, of course I
There you
watched
go.
it. I
Yeah.
watched it. No, calm down, boss. Unlike you, my family members didn't ruin westerns for me.
Yeah, I got tortured, man. I got tortured.
That's unfortunate to hear, bro. You got to break through that, because this thing is going to be a masterpiece.
Bot
It looks
still wears,
absolutely incredible, man.
chaps, just so you know.
Oh, assless, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah.
Wait,
No
Be
comment. I
expected.
plead the fifth.
No, I'm just, I was actually so blown away, as I always am with most Rockstar games. Like, it's just phenomenal amount of detail crammed into a monstrous world, and that level of detail is everywhere, not just in the stuff that they show. It's everywhere in their games. And I love it. Red Dead Redemption for me was something special, and I haven't beat it. Fraud alert, but I played it like, I don't even know, hundreds of hours. I would go in and just massacre towns and reload checkpoints and shoot everyone playing poker again and again and again in different ways. It was just so good. I loved it. So I am beyond hyped for this game. I've watched the trailer at least 10, 11 times, and man, I'm excited for this game.
Now, I do have to say, I as people know, I am not into cowboy anything, all right? And that is because of my grandmother. We want to go back into my childhood. She used to watch, like, Bonanza, Rifleman, even, like, and this is a quasi-cowboy, like, Little House on the Prairie. She used to just drill me with, like, Westerns, either really old Westerns or kind of nuanced family shows or whatever. They would not come off our TV in the living room. And yes, my grandmother lived with me and my mom, so she had complete run of that. And it got to the point where I don't even want to see a cowboy hat or anything like that. So, but I do have to say, I did watch the gameplay, and the lighting in this engine is absolutely impressive. Seeing the sun go through the trees, seeing the God rays and stuff like that, the amount of detail that are in these towns, characters and stuff. This is truly, I believe this is Rockstar's first game of this generation. Now, I know we had GTA 5, but that was released on the 360, and then, they had that base to kind of build up on for, like, the Xbox One, PS4 edition or whatnot. But I am really impressed with what Rockstar has done in terms of upgrading and making a game like within this generation, and it gets me really excited for the next GTA. And that's my opinion right there. But Predator, what do you think about the Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay? Did you see it, man?
Oh yeah, I was at work. I just pulled off to the side and was like, I'm going to the bathroom real quick, and so I can start watching it. I was impressed, and I wasn't a huge Red Dead fan, the original. I played some of it, and fraud alert here too. I never finished it. I think I got about maybe about 2/3 of the way through the game, and it's just one. Me, these long games like this, I just can't. With my backlog and other stuff I want to play, it's kind of hard to play these games. But I still buy them, and I probably will never finish this one. I'm gonna try my hardest, but I'm definitely picking up. I was impressed with everything I saw in the game. The graphics look great. The story, I'm sure, is going to be on point as well. So that I was blown away by what I saw. So I can't wait to get my hands on this.
I am gonna say, like, from what I saw graphically, I already kind of like trust Rockstar in terms of having a compelling story that has a lot of twists, a lot of turns, maybe an ending that you weren't expecting or anything like that. So from what I've seen from the gameplay, unless there's some type of huge issue or collapse somewhere, I am putting this game up there as it's going to be a potential game of the year. Predator, do you agree?
Oh, definitely agree. It will be a contender for sure. I think it's going to split votes with this and God of War. Um, will be the top two, I think, in the category so far this year.
All right, I got you. Do you want to make any predictions now that I put you out there about like game of the year and all that good stuff?
I can't. I haven't played Red Dead, so I don't want to put that out there yet.
Yeah,
Ask
well,
me.
it's not out. It's not out, but there are some things that we can kind of take for granted when it comes to Rockstar, right?
Yeah, I'll say it will be in the running for sure. Just based off what I've seen so far. But I mean, I haven't played it. I mean, it could be. What I don't want is interesting you say this because this game comes out in what, November or September?
Is it September? Anybody have the release date? Because I'm not
October
buying it.
28th or something like that.
Same month
Okay,
as Spider-Man,
so
I thought, right?
so last year when Assassin's Creed came out, it didn't make the cutoff. You guys remember that? It was not even in
Oh.
contention. So I
Right.
don't know if this is going to make the cutoff for the Game of the Year. I think it should. But-
It should, but it probably won't. That's the one thing about it, and to me, that'll be a fraudulent thing. Go ahead, Fred. I want to get to me. I want to just say what I.
Well, because last year, I thought Assassin's Creed should have been in the runnings for it as well,
Me
but
too.
it wasn't even
Me
a
too.
contender because it wasn't. So it should be in there this year, technically. But if this game kind of falls in that cutoff line, it's going to be interesting to see if they add it or don't add it, just so God of War can win. Conspiracy alert.
Oh,
Conspiracy
damn.
alert.
Illuminati
Yeah,
confirmed.
that's how I look at it. I feel the same way. And hold on, to somebody in the chat, they said this is Assassin's Creed. This is not Assassin's Creed. This
That was
is Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia.
I just got a Ezio.
You did that on purpose. You wanted to see if somebody would say Assassin's Creed.
Yes, I did. I did. I did that on
I
purpose.
actually almost did that game a couple of months ago.
Did you?
Yeah, I downloaded my PC and I couldn't get the controls to work on it right, so I just ended
Well,
up.
you know what Mooch would say about all that. Oh, PC games, man. Where's the console game?
Oh, that's a 360 game, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a 360 game.
I had the
All
original.
360.
Were you playing it on an Xbox?
No, I was playing it on a PC.
Exactly. Mooch, where
Was
are
it-
you,
was
man?
Look, your mooch will actually smell you using a mouse.
No, I don't use it. It's on controller, baby.
I'm
on
just
controller.
saying, like, just so you guys know, he's got that ability. It's strange, but whatever. He knows the smell of a mouse.
I would not put it past him. Don, since you chimed in, I want to hear, you do graphics when it comes to, developing games and stuff like that. So I want to hear like what you saw in Red Dead Redemption 2. Are there things that you're impressed by? Was there anything that you saw that was kind of made you possibly skeptical? What did you think about that gameplay, man?
The horse nuts.
Skeptical? What way? No. I mean, I'm sure that's gameplay.
Hashtag horse nuts.
No, yeah. I'm sure that's gameplay. I don't have any doubt in that or anything like that. Here's the thing: we could have been here a lot sooner if we weren't so focused on native resolution.
Thank you. Don.
So, like,
That is the quote of the night so far. Thank you.
And there's nothing wrong with higher native resolution, right? But if we didn't start off this generation like that, we could have had games that looked like God of War, that looked like the Red Dead, much sooner.
Mm-hmm.
By a good year or two, to be honest with you. But because people had to get that up to a reasonable number for the talking points, then games suffered because of it. So I look at this game, so I think it looks beautiful. I honestly,
The lighting, man. Come on, the lighting is
the lighting's
insane.
great. Like, lighting's one of those things. I mean, obviously they did some work on the engine, and they have a lot of work to do on their games because they're so huge. But I am not actually a big Rockstar fan of their games, but this is probably one of the first ones I'll pick up in maybe 10, 15 years, to be honest with you.
Wow.
So, like, I'm actually excited. This is going to tie me over till Rage 2 comes out, sort of thing. So it is kind of a filler for me, but I can't deny that they've learned their craft and they've earned that spot where their games just sell, so they can just take whatever time they want and give us something in return as gamers, which is awesome. So.
You know, Don, it's funny you said that because Mooch even stated like only Rockstar can have a game coming out and then just about 2 months before it comes out, finally show gameplay of it. Like, yeah, we'll throw it out there now.
And that's where I want things to go. If we eventually just hold off long enough that we'll have enough content that's newsworthy on a consistent basis, but you're excited about the day before, you're not getting false hopes too far in advance. So the way Rockstar does that, I wish more studios would do that, to be honest with you.
I think Rockstar is one of the very few studios that has earned the right to do that, to be really honest.
I'm not saying you're wrong, to be honest with you on that one. But it is what it is. I mean, they're going to be a juggernaut. I mean, this is probably the one year I think Call of Duty's, and I know people say this every year, I don't think Call of Duty is going to do as well as you think.
It's not going to do. I think it's been on a decline the last like.
I mean, they'll still be profitable. Don't get me wrong or anything like that.
Number one, man. Let's
no, I don't know. I think.
Dude,
I
the
think
10 to 14-year-old boy demographic is what's going to do it.
Yeah, I understand that demographic, but what I'm saying is, with Rockstar's game coming out, some of the bigger heavy hitters like this Rockstar game it's going to suck up a lot of money in the industry in regards to that. So. I don't wish Call of Duty bad. I don't think Call of Duty is going to disappear off the face of the planet or anything like that.
A campaign.
I wish that too. But the fact that it doesn't have a campaign, and the fact that you have a Rockstar game like this that doesn't come out very often, right? This is an event. This is like every 3 to 4 years you get a Rockstar game. So that's kind of a big deal, and I think it honestly is going to suck up some available funds that are out there. And I think this is the Call of Duty. It's not going out of business.
No.
I'm gonna be clear on that. It's not going to be their most profitable Call of Duty in quite a while. Actually, that's what I'll call it.
Well, Don, since I got you here talking about games and stuff, there was another gameplay reveal at QuakeCon. It is a new Doom called Doom Eternal. Did you see that gameplay?
I did. I saw that, I think, right after GRG last night, and that looked awesome. The redone of Doom this generation, it was a very well thought out way of going about a first-person shooter, but still bringing those elements of the original Doom into it, but modernizing it. Mm. And this just looks like an expansion of how crazy you can go with it, because they also had that whip feature where you can it
had a chain, the chain
bionic commando yourself. Yeah,
and you can chain to an enemy, and you can drag yourself to that enemy. So if the enemy's in the air, you can literally throw yourself into the air. You still have the double jump, you still have the grapple, and stuff like that. It's a lot more in mobility than the first one, and that's saying a lot, because the first one you were really mobile in that game as well.
Well, the whole gameplay is about can't stop, won't stop, right? That's what you got to do in the whole entire game. I mean, that's what you have to do. Like when you kill somebody, like you have to kill them to get ammo. You have to kill them to get health, right? You have to do these finishing moves. So you just have to constantly keep it moving. So, I think it's exciting. Like, is it just an expansion or is it standalone? I haven't really looked.
It's a standalone. It's what they're doing is, they said with the first one they wanted to reboot the game. They said with this one it's not necessarily a sequel, but they're trying to build the Doom universe, starting with this game and moving forward.
How big or expensive is the game?
Well, the game's going to be $60. It's going to be retail price.
So $60, okay.
I'm not sure about how big in terms of how many missions or anything like that, but there is
as big as the original.
It's going to be bigger.
Everything I've seen is the game is doubling or tripling down on everything.
Okay.
I think Doom was a big success for them, and they're going to go hard on it.
There's no snap map in it, so you don't create your own missions and stuff like that. But they made the worlds a lot bigger, and it's not just in terms of width or whatever, it's height, because they have that new grappling feature. You can go up 3, 4, 5 stories
I saw that.
Quick.
You can climb and stuff too.
You're straight up bionic commando with your BFG, right? Like that's pretty
Yes.
much what's
Dude,
going
I am
on there.
digging this so much. Like, I cannot wait for this game to drop. Yeah.
No,
It is,
it's gonna be fun. It was, and this wasn't expected, right? Like this was kind of out of nowhere.
No,
No, they mentioned the E3.
yeah, they said they were going to have QuakeCon game footage.
Oh, that's right. But it
and
wasn't very clear what was going on with
No, but if
Doom
you remember the
at
first Doom
E3. They were
reveal-
just like they mentioned it, but they didn't like go into details a whole lot. Am I
No,
correct?
they just did more. They just said more at QuakeCon, I believe.
Yeah, and then did like some sort of intro.
Yeah, it was like a
As well.
CGI type trailer is what
Yeah,
they
I
showed.
just remember
Which
I can't remember
arguably
what it
could
was.
be in-game graphics because my God, is that thing
Oh my-
face-meltingly good looking.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is that Doom gameplay made my day.
Well, have you guys seen the new Rage gameplay as well?
That
I was going to go into
very
that.
well, yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
I was more
like-
excited about Rage than I was about Doom, to be honest with you.
Really?
I thought Doom was dope. Yeah, but Rage have got me like, damn.
Rage has got a different way of mixing it up and giving it like weight and stuff like that. It looks solid as well.
I mean, you know, I'm definitely looking into Rage as well, but I have been a Doom fan ever since I maybe like 12 years old or so.
Yeah.
And where I see them moving this franchise into the quote unquote today, you know what I'm saying? Then compared to when I first played it on like my cousin's old PC or whatnot, Dude, I am so excited. I can see a new generation of gamers getting as excited for Doom now as like maybe we were in our childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, absolutely,
The thing with
absolutely.
Doom is that even that original Doom, it's out on the 360. It's back compat on the one. Even to this day, it still plays amazing. You're strafing around all the enemies. The gunplay is super tight. The weapons are all varied. Just big labyrinth of a map. Like Doom for me brought in the first-person shooter genre and solidified it as this is my genre of gaming. Like I was playing Doom before there was a sound blaster on my PC, and like the hard drive or something was like making these weird noises. I don't know how the tower was doing it, but that's when I was into Doom, and it was nuts. And then when I got the sound blaster, like I was young enough that the game gave me goosebumps and chills. It was just so solid, and I think that the remake of Doom captured what was great about the past better than any game ever has and brought it into the future and just really modernized it. And their level of violence was just unapologetic. Like it is in your face. Doom, I think the way they approached the story was brilliant. It's there if you want to look for it and you can read about it here and there. But really, as a gamer, we care about it as much as the Doom Marine does. We don't. He tosses the shit aside, gives the middle finger to anyone giving him the exposition. He just wants to kill demons, and so do we. This thing is my most hyped game, bar none. Doom 2 looks so good. I'm just hoping for campaign co-op.
you know, Shady, it is really good to hear you say that. I didn't know how much of a Doom fan you were. I do want to ask. I want to ask you, what do you think about the feature where if you leave your game open to like your friends or anything like that, they can literally invade your single player campaign and they can use anything from the smallest demon to like almost like one of the mini bosses to invade your single player game experience, even as a group. So they can come in as a group.
Kids.
I think that's really cool. I also really like how that's not forced. So anyone who wants to just play it standard, you can just shut it right off, or you can have it on. You can invade other guys' games and attack them as, a mancubus, as an example, or be attacked by groups of other players. I think it could be amazing, depending on the players. I find modes like this tend to be a little skewed, where like a lot of the developers that make these games, they play the game with all their buddies and co-workers every day in the office, where they can turn around and yell at the guy who just fragged them, as opposed to with strangers like we typically do at home. So I find a lot of these big team-based capture the flags or stuff like that, they don't work as well in the public as they do in the dev's office.
Well, all
I'm not sure if this is
devs
going
want
to
to go in and
translate.
play it, and I
Yeah,
think
they all know each other, right? You can laugh and call each other names and laugh that off, as opposed to diving for the report and ban button because someone told you to fuck off. It's just different when you play with a enclosed group, and it's so fun. I mean, arguably, I'll dig a ditch with my best friends, and it's a great time. But out in the world with a bunch of strangers, you even look at someone wrong and they're reporting you. It's not as good of an experience, I find, for some of these big team games. People are unwilling to work together. They're unwilling to talk to each other.
Let me ask you this, Shady, though, because it's really just about like going in there and the way I look at it is AI sucks in games. It hasn't gotten much better, right?
Generally,
So
no.
one of the appeals of multiplayer, in any form factor is you now have someone's more intelligent, right? Going up against you with whatever tools they got, right?
There's always
And-
that potential, but even with humans, I find that you do end up with the same gameplay. You still have the guys that do nothing but strafe in circles while jumping up and down, the guys that just lay down on their belly the whole match, the campers. Like there's very patterned gameplay with humans. In general, actually, it's really easy to pattern players. If you play the same guy 2 or 3 times, it doesn't take long to realize how he plays a game. It's harder for him to break his own patterns than it is for me to recognize them and take advantage of them, if you know what I mean. So, like, while I appreciate having humans come in and take over some of my dumb AI, I found that the imps, especially in Doom, were almost overly smart. Like, those were the most deadly little bastards in the whole game, and they're just an entry-level enemy, but they're so fast, and their mobility around the map is unrestricted.
And they
So I thought it
coordinate,
was
and they
just
coordinate
awesome.
on you as well.
That too. Like with AI, you can program awesome looking situations that no human group out there will ever actually pull off or get together and work together to have be. Like when you watch a trailer for Battlefield games, the scenarios are so awesome. I don't even want to admit to what I would give to be a part of one of those trailers in a real world gameplay experience.
Right.
Like you're lucky to have 2 strangers follow you and another tank behind you while you're doing anything. Like it just doesn't happen.
So you're saying
People don't-
gaming is not like the Ubisoft conferences when
It's according to
wishes that it could be like I'm down with the role playing a little bit when I'm in parties with friends. Maybe not to the extent that those Ubisoft guys are doing, but at the same time, a little bit. Like it's more fun when people are into the characters and the world while in a party, as opposed to bitching and whining about how lame their job was today or something like that. Like it does feel cool when you're like, "Ooh, it's dark in here. Let's turn the lights on, boys," and everyone's into it. Like it's just something about role playing to an extent can be good, but it really brushes up the line of corny and cheese.
Oh, dude,
It's a hard line to dance on, but I enjoy it.
Shady, one of the games that like me and O Snaps got where we saw like it was heavy into like role playing and entertainment, and this is when it worked, was Friday the 13th. I saw a certain like a different side of somebody as soon as they became Jason as compared to any other time I gamed with them, and it was a lot of fun. It's just that game was so glitchy. The online was just such a disaster and everything like that. It never really like it never really fleshed out to being that experience that a lot of people wanted. But and then I want to ask Predator if he saw Doom as well, and if you did, Pred, what do you think about it in terms of being that sequel to that Doom that I know I enjoyed, like the reboot of Doom we had like a couple years ago.
I actually liked this last Doom that came out. I did watch the footage, by the way, but what got me about the game was it seemed like it was so fast. I don't know what it was about the game. It seemed like maybe it was just
no
the fluidity
reloading.
of it.
There was no reloading.
It just seemed like it was just like constant, like what the fuck the whole time I played the game, and I kind of rushed through it because I had a lot of games on my backlog. I wanted to get through that one, so I didn't get as immersed into it as I know. But what the fuck is there to get immersed in? You're just shooting and running most of the game. So, I'm looking forward to this next one coming out. It looked really good on what I saw online. Is it a must buy, like day one buy for me? Depends on what else is out at the time. Because, like I said last week, I'm trying to be a smarter consumer. Instead of buying games, at day one, if I know I'm not going to get a chance.
Out for you, man?
Dude, I've not had a chance to game pretty much all week other than just getting footage for the show. So my stepson was here hogging my Xbox, and then I started working actually in the office instead of at home because I used to cut corners and fuck off all day and play Xbox. I haven't had a chance to do that. So I really have not had a chance to game or buy anything or anything like that. So it's working out good right now because I don't have any time to play games anyway. So but like I say, it's not a day one for me. I will pick it up eventually. I may wait for it to go on sale or something like that. But I don't know what the release date is. If they even
I think
talked
it's
about it.
2019. I didn't see a
They
release
didn't
date.
say no. They didn't say nothing, and I
think
was
it's- but
I
think it's
praying.
2019, man.
Yeah, if they drop it like
That's
during the
upsetting.
summer, then I'll pick it up because it probably won't be much out during that time of the year. Like right around, I
See,
guess.
I think it could be a holiday title though. Like it to me, it looks
Yeah.
that good, dude.
I think
It
they
looks
should
pretty
probably
cool.
push this in the middle of the year, like maybe like April, May, sometime in June.
Everybody has become so afraid of like the holidays lately.
It
The
isn't
last
that.
couple
It's
of
just like
years, man.
remember in the past where everybody would dump all the games in the holiday and you wouldn't get shit from January till fucking June.
It
Like
never,
I
it
don't
never
want
really
those.
mattered to me. I don't pick up Madden. Like the newest one looks interesting, but I still can't. I can't get my hand to throw that $60 over for it right now.
I'm still trying to mooch that. My birthday is next week, by the way. So anybody want to drop some code?
What's the best way to troll K Mega?
Get free shit.
I think Bethesda's a game short this holiday. Don't they normally do 2 games a year?
Who's that?
Bethesda? They normally release 2 games every year, don't they? And now we've got Rage in the spring. The new Wolfenstein, where it's got co-op, he plays the twins. That's also earlier next year. They showed off their space RPG, what was it called? Star Citizen? No, not Star Citizen.
No, God, that game's never coming out.
Yeah. But they showed that off, and that's coming out years away. And then same with Elder Scrolls, years away. So all they have confirmed is Fallout 76.
76,
I thought for sure they were going to say that Doom Eternal is dropping like mid-November. And my God, for me, that game could drop February 22nd with the other 15 games dropping. And I would still buy that game over anything else. And Anthem for me is mind-blowing, but I would go with Doom because, man, that made me who I am as a gamer.
Nice.
Yeah, I like I said, it depends on what's out around the time that game comes out. We'll make a decision if I pick it up day one or not.
All right. Hey Mega.
Yeah.
Are you a Doom fan?
Yeah, I like Doom.
Did you like the last one that came out?
Yeah, it was dope.
All right,
Didn't beat it, but I need to go through it and knock it out.
Oh, dude, the later levels is when it gets really insane, dude. But what did you think about the gameplay? Did you check out the gameplay for
Yes.
Doom Eternal? What do you think, man?
It looked amazing. It looked really good. It looked like Fred said, it looked super fast. Like, oh shit! And I see like you trying, look, these old fingers,
Right?
right? You know what I'm saying? They can't move like they used to. Their grandpa needs to have some time now. But no, it looked really fun, and I'm pretty sure that the way that you use the grappling hook and the shooting is going to be seamless. So I am looking forward to it. It's a fun game, and it looks great. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. I just got to stop you real quick. I just want to announce that Snap has officially beat Overcooked 2 as we were on the show right now.
Nice.
Huge shout out to Snap's. Like, Overcooked, that's no joke to try to beat those games, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen people play them. That would be my old lady plays it on her phone. So yeah, that's
Oh, and shout out to Evan too, because he was her, I guess you could say, sous chef. Like, he was there and they multiplayed it and beat it that way. So that is one of the 10-year-old twins right there, Evan. Huge shout out to Evan.
All I know is if cooking food is anything like cooking food in that game, and is it in real life, I got a new respect for chefs.
Yeah, then I quit. Like, I will forever be somebody buying the food at a restaurant and not preparing it. But yeah, go ahead. My bad, K Mega.
No, you're fine.
What were you saying about Doom Eternal, man? I
No, I was
you
just
said
saying it was really good. Yeah, no, it looked great. I mean, it definitely will be a game that I will pick up. I don't know if it'll be a day one. It's according when it will come out, because 2019 looks already insane. But if it comes out the same time that the other Doom came out, which was around June, July, perfect. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's exactly the right time to have that type of game to come out when you don't really have anything coming out except for maybe when August comes out and you got Madden and
What about late August?
What
about next week?
No, well, if it comes out next week, you know what I'm saying, can't mess with it, man. I got, you know what I'm saying, there's Strange Brigade that I want. There's you know what I'm saying, Tomb Raiders coming down the corner.
I would get Doom way before Strange Brigade.
Man, Strange Brigade, man, I seen that up close in person. That game looks crazy fun.
I want to play that really bad, but I was
It
on the
is.
fence.
I hate the fact that I didn't get the chance to play it because they let us have a special screening to talk to the developers and be in one of those little special rooms. But I had to catch my flight. So Knuckles and Infamous and them got a chance to play it, and they really loved it. But me just seeing it up close, like, oh man, this game is crazy cool. Like it makes Earthfall look like. I can't, you know what I'm saying, and I like Earthfall, you know what I'm saying, but it's definitely really polished anyway. But no, Doom looks fantastic. I'm definitely will pick it up. It's something that I'm looking for. I hope it comes out 2019. I hope it don't come out this year because, like I said, it's a lot of games coming out at the end of the year that I want to get my hands on, and then that just adds more to the pot. And then you're over here slaughtering me in the beginning of 2019. Jesus, come on now. Let's do it in July. So also, somebody in the chat asked, what was that last game that I was playing? That was Syndicate. I wish that they would bring that to EA Access. That is a dope ass game. So
no one's wondering what games you playing.
yeah, there was people that was asking about what game that
I
was.
don't understand that.
No,
Shady.
Mega is paying them
He's just
via
trying to
PayPal through
plug himself
Twitter to
be a
ask
winner.
these questions. man.
There was a few people that asked. I'm just saying in the chat, like you can just go back and look for yourself. I'm just over here just caring. I mean, dude was over here. Shady was over here on this Tinky Winky love fest for Doom and just going all over it.
Yeah,
I was just
how
like,
can you
hey,
say
let him have
Tinky
time.
Winky when you're ripping
We're
heads
talking about
off of
Doom here.
demons?
Cutting
shit in half. There's no
he went
Tinky
ultra
Winky in there,
fanboy
man.
for the game. Look,
Man,
I
giving us a
like
new
the Doom.
definition of
To
Tinky
me,
Winky. I don't know what you're into, Mega.
Rage to me is more appealing to me than
That's like
Doom.
Tank Girl the game.
I hope Rage has that glory kill mechanic. We can get up there and rip these bastards apart.
Yeah, they showed that. They showed like a double
they-
shot. It looked really crazy where the dude got flung in the air and then he got shot once and then he got shot again and then he ripped in half. I was like, oh yeah, Rage.
That whole boomerang mechanic was pretty sweet that they have on there as well.
Like
I
the
gotta
homing,
go
throwing
back
it
and
around
check that out.
corners now. Yeah,
Yeah,
really good.
It depends on how you throw it, right? So you can control the way it's thrown. So technically, cover will block it if you throw it the wrong way, but you can arc it around things if you do it right.
I hope there's a mod where you can throw it and take control of it, like the Batarang and the Arkham series, and fly it around yourself
Oh,
and chase
wow.
guys through the map. That would be so cool.
That would be crazy. I can't wait for Xbox to when they're going to implement that the little mod app, because that right there will change the game for all types of games. I mean, you see how effective it was with Skyrim. So like, and for fighters,
Well,
like
wasn't that Bethesda that basically wanted to do that, and then Xbox said okay, but wasn't that really under Bethesda's wings in terms of
That is correct.
the mod?
That is correct. But they also gave rumors that they were interested in doing that they were going to have an app to where they were going to have people do mods, and like you could transfer mods. Of course, you can't do naked people
Well,
mods
they
and
also
stuff
had a
like
rumor that we were getting a new avatars in May, so like, I mean,
Well, the new avatars there. I mean, if
It
you
could
get
be,
through
it could not be.
previews, they're there. They're there. I see people with the new avatars using them, but I don't.
I played around with mine, but that's preview program.
Yeah,
It's still not out there for people. But guys, talking about innovation and changing the game, the Black Ops 4 beta came out on Xbox for people who pre-ordered the game or got their code through some rhyme or reason, or were able to start playing the beta last night. So I want to just gauge the temperature of the room here. Has anybody played Black Ops 4 beta?
I haven't, but I certainly want to, especially the blackout mode. But I don't think that's in this beta.
No, it's gonna be in another beta moving forward, and it's gonna be linked to this beta. So you have to have had the code for this one, and then you'll get the code for the blackout beta, which I'm not sure when that's running. So nobody has played the beta for Black Ops 4 on the panel?
Nope, I have not. This is the first time I've not gotten a code or anything for.
I haven't been one. I've watched 108 Dragons play it twice.
This is the first time I heard it was playable.
Oh, yeah. It's ultra fast. It's ultra fast. It's really fast.
All right, well,
I heard this from the gameplay people watch. It says pretty fast.
Well, since nobody has really played it, we can't really go into detail about what you really think of it, with having the controller I feel the same way. But so let's move on to something else. And it's funny that we're having So Shady on here because when we were on Crossfire, me and Shady, I thought we had a great discussion about Game Pass. And 2 games have just recently dropped in Game Pass now. One being Rage, the 360 game that a lot of people are talking about the sequel, and Doom as well. The remake that came out a couple years back is now in Game Pass as well. And I'm gonna start with the Don here. And Don, with these 2 games, of course, we also have Hitman and a bunch of other titles that came in for the month. I know Game Pass so far has been a success, but there are kind of like naysayers out there, people who talk negative in terms of the longevity of this feature. Do you think that the new games that came in with Hitman and stuff like that, and then these 2 games with Doom and Rage, do you think that finally the library might have gotten to a point where it'll quiet some of these naysayers and people will really see kind of like the benefits that are in this feature?
I think only time will. These are good wins, right? But this is kind of the business model, I call they're going to have, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to be games that are going to be dropping out, and they may have some these small lulls, and then they'll have these spikes like what we're talking about right now. Because I think Ranger is a great get if you're going to go back to the 360 catalog, and Doom's the other one, right? So. Yes. Doom was a phenomenal game, and people on this panel are more excited about that game than some of the other games, right? That are coming out this year, or next year, whatever it may be. So, yeah, I think they're strong wins for Game Pass. It's really what you're seeing. You're seeing more support from developers, and you're going to slowly start seeing that creep more and more and more. And it's, I don't know, has it even been 100 games in there? I mean, it's way more than that, right?
Yeah, over 100, yes. Man.
It's like 180 something.
Yeah, so it's almost double what technically you're promised, right? So, I mean, they're delivering on their promises. They're continuing to bring new stuff in there, and I just say, like, Game Pass it's not every customer, right? It's a different type of customer that wants Game Pass.
I'm sold on it, man.
Yeah, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm totally a support of that. Like, it's just another avenue that A, developers can make money. B, gamers can basically look at this and say, hey, this is probably the viable option for how I play games, right? Gets people to try games. I keep saying that's an issue in the industry. It's a huge issue in the industry. And this is something that is proactively addressing it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't see any negatives from Game Pass, even if it doesn't, like, for me, it doesn't fit my lifestyle. But it doesn't mean.
Oh, listen to you.
Because
drinking your Moet with your pinky in the air.
but just because it doesn't fit my lifestyle, though, it doesn't mean it doesn't work for others, right?
Predator, go get my car.
Whoa, why is it gotta be Predator, man? What are you talking?
But you get what I'm saying, though, right? Like, I think a lot of times when people talk negatively about Game Pass, are talking about it doesn't work for them or it's not something that interests them, but it doesn't necessarily mean speaks out for every gamer in regards to that. So I think that with time, that's what's going to kind of heal that portion of it.
Dude,
so, I mean, it gets better, right? Every time.
I think over time people are going to realize just how big like Game Pass. I see it growing like every day.
Yeah.
I get more and more kind of like stories from gamers where they are enjoying Game Pass. All the games, the variety of games for that $10 a month subscription it's right up their alley, and I think this is just going to get bigger and bigger.
I mean, if I had more free time, like it would be more part of my.
Look
basically
at this awesome gameplay
grind.
Right here, man.
Man, I don't even know what the hell is that, like, cat guy.
Yeah, what is that thing? You just messed up the game by showing that orange shit. What is? I mean, yellow shit.
He's a flying squirrel. He's in the
That ain't no squirrel.
That is Sonic.
Don was right. That was Heathcliff.
That's Heathcliff, man.
That's Sonic Mania Plus with the two.
Terrorize that neighborhood.
That is the DLC for Sonic Mania. And you know you like it, K-Mega.
That thing looks hideous.
You like it.
Just messed up the game. I was just like, what is that creature?
It's Heathcliff, man.
Hey, man, a new word we got, hashtag Air Pinky. Thank you, Don.
Wow.
With the swag.
Ever since they announced that all the exclusives are going to go into Game Pass day and date at launch and never leave, the
That's
value
huge.
to that is a no-brainer to my lifestyle, and I have 600 games.
Yeah,
And it's an instant, like, if I buy all Microsoft exclusive games and Game Pass costs me just a little bit less than buying just two of their games a year. They release more than the two. Plus I have access to the other 170 plus, guaranteed 100. Like, it's a no-brainer. And a lot of those games, while people will complain that they're small little indie titles, a lot of those games are interesting to me, not interesting enough for me to spend 10 to 15 bucks to buy it, but I'll certainly play it as a part of my subscription that I'm really only subscribed to get the exclusive games.
As an
that
indie
I buy
developer,
anyways.
Game Pass has more value to me than buying an indie title, right?
Yeah.
So, in that sense, it just depends where you find value. I mean, it's where it really boils down to. Like, I don't have a lot of time to play, so if I'm looking forward to something, the only way I can guarantee I'm going to play it is buying it.
Hold on, Don. Might we see like Project Pimp Cup in Game Pass then?
I don't know what the finances are, so I don't really know.
No. I just mean those indies are the icing on the cake.
Uh-oh. Did everybody fade away, or is it just me?
Exclusives in here, so it's going to be awesome.
All right, I can hear you again. Shady,
we heard you,
but you blacked out on my headset, and when you black out on my headset, nobody hears you. Except for the panel. So what were you saying again, man? My bad.
I was just saying Game Pass is awesome for me because I already buy all their exclusives and they're never going to leave. So by subscribing to Game Pass, basically indefinitely, it costs me less money per year to have all the Microsoft exclusives than it does to buy them.
Now, Shady, you only had like one major complaint when it came to Game Pass, right? It was what we were talking about.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of something. I'm not a fan of something being like slash and burn sailed, and then within days to a week kind of deal showing up in Game Pass without that being known. Like, and the reason I brought it up is because every month Xbox has told us what is coming to Game Pass roughly a week or so early.
Except for that month.
This month they didn't say a thing. And there was multiple games that were in the big sale that were happening that ended days before the end of the month. There was multiple games in there that ended up showing up in Game Pass. I ended up buying one of them. I would not have bought it if I'd known it was going to be in Game Pass.
Yeah.
My point is if they have Game Pass as this platform that they're convinced isn't poaching sales, I don't understand why they needed to be shady about it. Like, just be open. If you want to buy it because you're not a part of Game Pass, here's the sale. If you're a part of Game Pass, but you want to own it, here's the sale. If you want to just play it.
Coordination where they release at the same time?
I don't care
would
really
that solve
when
the
it's there.
problem?
Just be either be transparent or just set a rule where it's like if there's a sale of a game, it's not going to show up in EA Access or in Game Pass for like a month, I guess. So it happened within days. I bought the game and the sale ended, and 3 days later it was in Game Pass. So it's kind of like,
I have a feeling those situations is like it's kind of the left hand not talking to the right hand sort of thing within
that's right.
the company.
Like, I don't think it's necessarily nefarious,
malicious or anything like that.
No, it's not just Xbox's fault or just the devs' fault. Like I wouldn't put it past someone to say, hey, we could possibly make more money doing this because people like myself bought the game as opposed to just playing it through my subscription service. But if this continues to happen, the more this happens to me, I'm going to become saleophobic and not buy games on sale anymore because I think they may show up in my services that I'm already subscribed to. Mm-hmm. And then the games that don't show up in these services, I'm now pissed off because I missed out on the sale that I wanted to take advantage of. So it's sending this really weird mixed message where if it's on sale, that means it's going to show up, but maybe not. And I don't know what to do. I don't like being, tricked into spending that money that I don't really have to. Just be transparent, I think.
I think honestly, releasing at the same time would be the proper solution, right? Because if you try to put the message out there, who's going to get it, right? I mean, like you have to go digging for that.
Well, when you go to buy the game, it could say available in Game Pass in 7 days. Like there could be another line of text just beside the "Are you ready to purchase it?" That just
or
says,
if they release it at the same time, it can have just say available in Game Pass.
Releasing at the same time would work for games that are new, but like in this case, it was Ruiner, and it's out, it's old, so it was just in a sale, and then they put it into Game Pass after. So there was no way they could have done both. I guess unless they could have just put it in Game Pass 2 weeks earlier when the sale started. I don't know.
Yeah, I just
was
keep
gonna
looking
play.
at
I was
more.
gonna play Ruiner for my gameplay as well, but Abzu and Sonic Mania they took up my time that wasn't on Destiny 2. But I
Well,
was gonna
K
play
Mega
that for
already
you, man.
killed some Ruiner gameplay a few weeks ago. It was glorious. That's what sold me on it. Was K Mega's gameplay.
Oh shoot! I don't understand why. Hopefully you didn't vote for him. But anyway,
No comment.
yeah. On that note, let's get to pretty much one of the last topics. This is something kind of interesting coming from Nintendo, and yes, I put those two statements kind of like together there. Interesting, Nintendo. This past Nintendo Direct, they showed kind of like a cinematic. It had to deal with Luigi in a haunted castle. Now, the haunted castle was more lifelike. It had Beaumont from Castlevania in it, coming in through the door and everything. All the ghosts and everything like that looked more realistic than what you would see from like Luigi's Mansion or something like that. Now, the funny thing was, at the end of this whole thing, Luigi dies, yeah. Luigi meets up with the Grim Reaper himself, meets up with Death, gets hacked. You see his spirit come out of his body. It was before he could get rescued, and even at the end of the trailer, his spirit tried to go back into his body, but then he got distracted by a face outside the window. And there are people out there like, oh my god, Luigi's dead. No more Mario and Luigi. Luigi is gone. I don't know, Predator. What do you think? Do you think Luigi's gone? What's going on here? I've heard a couple things from a couple of my friends were talking about this, but I want to hear what the panel has to say, and I will bring up some of the suggestions as well. What do you think's going on, man?
I didn't put too much thought. I didn't even see this until you mentioned it in the topics. It wasn't a big deal to me. It's Luigi. He's still alive. I'm not even worried about this.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
You don't think they killed off Luigi?
I don't think they killed. It's probably part of the game. I don't know. I really did not put a lot of effort into this.
It was a promo for Smash Brothers, but you never really see Nintendo go in there and do that with like one of their main characters in kind of like a cinematic or anything. I have never seen them do that before, man.
No, maybe it's like a prequel for Luigi's Mansion or something. I don't know. I'm sure you'll go through the theories here in a little bit, but I don't follow the Nintendo Directs, to be honest with you, and I don't really care about half of their games except Zelda and some of the Marios, and that's about it. I mean, I on my Switch, dude, I'm serious. It's got dust on it right now. So I'll probably pick up Smash Brothers, and I probably won't play it, but maybe when I'm on the shitter.
Well, I know we've all been gaming for a long time, and that's one of the reasons why I made this a topic. I know a lot of us, growing up, we had an NES and stuff like that. I mean, let's be real here. We grew up on a Luigi character as well. Yeah. So when I saw them do this in this cinematic, not only was I was like, oh shit, did they just kill off Luigi? I was like, yo, they have never really done anything like this before.
Peter Young, he's like, Nintendo killing a character that they milk the living shit out of. Long answer, no. And like, they've never gotten rid of characters ever in the history of Nintendo. They just keep adding more. But like, I'm not concerned about
one of
Luigi dying.
One of my friends suggested that it's kind of like, even though they were promoting Smash Brothers, it would be another Luigi's Mansion that they were trying to like promote within the promotion. You see what I'm saying? That. Which is why he was getting distracted, and you saw there was like a porcelain kind of like doll face out the window. It was crying like purple tears or something like that. Had a big.
Didn't he have his little vacuum, his ghost vacuum on his back in the trailer?
Yeah, the ghost vacuum. He tried to hit a mummy with a plunger. And it just like it slid off his face because the mummy it's more realistic. It's not, you can tell it wasn't in like the Mario universe. I thought it was really interesting. I thought what they did was actually really cool to kind of like spark some kind of intrigue as to what is going on over there. Shady, what do you think, man?
I think you're right. It could definitely be a little bit of a hidden cross-promotion hint towards their new game. Like I've heard a lot of people say they're make any Luigi game, for God's sakes. But a good Luigi's Mansion game has been brought up a lot. So I could definitely see that. I don't think he's dead by any stretch of imagination. I mean, he died in the trailer, but I don't think he's gone. The little ghost of his spirit looked over at the moon thing and the trailer ended. I think it could have just jumped in his body and Luigi, runs off. Simple as that. But I do think that it does kind of hint towards another game with him, and it's cool to see Castlevania invade Smash Bros. I mean, the Smash Bros. For the fans of that series is going to be the one to get it from the sounds of it. It's huge.
Nintendo, they have gone on record. They're more of a family type company, and I like I said, I've never seen them do this with a character. If this is a cross promotion for like another Luigi's Mansion, Shady, what do you think? Is this a good way to do this? Did this really create intrigue? Did it really get people looking more into what Nintendo's doing? Do you think this is a good way for them to market, future games, Nintendo first party, stuff like that, man?
I think it's pretty neat if they do end up doing a Luigi's Mansion 2 if they continue that pattern where you look at a Nintendo trailer and it could possibly lean you towards their future games and other franchises even, that'd be sort of cool. But I'm not sure if that's the way it's going to be. I think this is a fine way to promote this game. I don't think it's too dark or anything like that. I mean, God, I grew up watching cartoons where Bambi's mom's getting killed at the beginning, Littlefoot's mom's getting killed at the beginning. I was terrified of losing my mom when I was like 6 because of fucking Disney movies had to teach you all about that.
He said Littlefoot. That's what shit my kid would watch. Gee whiz.
Good God.
I don't know, man. It was, like I said, it was interesting to me. I know we've been gamers for so long that I know, like, Luigi is kind of like iconic into our childhood and whatnot. So I'm actually interested. K Mega.
Yeah.
I know you have this whole nostalgia thing. You like playing like older games on PC, or if they're backwards compatible on Xbox, stuff like that. I know you like to play games across generations. So what did you think about this kind of like cinematic from Nintendo Direct? Do you think one of the Mario brothers is gone?
No, I seen where they reported that he wasn't, because there was
you tell me that in the DM. I didn't see any report.
I just didn't think that you was going to get to. I didn't want to talk about this, man. I really didn't. But I was like, yeah. So, but yeah, no. Nintendo said that he was not dead because there was a lot of people that was concerned. So I seen the tweet today, as a matter of fact, and I was just cracking up. Like, I mean, I know Bot's not going to really talk about this, but you did. So he's not dead.
I will do it, man.
yeah, but there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, look, Nintendo deserve to get love and be talked about just like everything else. But it is. I think it's a promotion. It would be cool for Luigi to get a game. I mean, he's always the redheaded stepchild. Yeah, like, I mean, he's always
gets the silver medal, man.
I've always liked Luigi more than Mario. Just because he's taller and he's just I don't know. And he's like behind Mario.
He keeps
man.
in shape more than Mario as well, man.
Yeah, well, I'm pudgy like Mario, so I mean, but I'm not worried about it. You can
look up to Luigi. You can put a poster of Luigi
but he's tall.
when you're lifting weights and stuff,
Yeah, well, true. Well, anyway, I'd rather eat pizza. But anyway, no. But no, I'm glad for that, and I think that is also a great time for Nintendo to also bring some of those old franchises back that we haven't seen in a very long time. Like, I mean, I'm saying, a lot of people would love to see an F-Zero, things like that. So I mean, I mean, so to bring a Luigi's Mansion back, that would be great. I mean, it's been long overdue, and I'm saying, it's but he's not dead. He's not dead, and so people can relax. Anybody out there that was putting a noose over their neck, thinking it was all over for them.
So do you think it might be like cross promotion for a new like Luigi's Mansion or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It could be. I I'm saying, like I said, I don't really follow Nintendo Direct like that, like I'm saying, like Fred said, but I do pay attention to a couple of things, especially when new games, because I still haven't got the Switch yet. And I'm going to get one. I just want to get an abundance of games to where I'll jump on and then me and the old lady can play. So it's not, because she said she will play a Switch. You know what I'm saying? She won't play an Xbox. She won't play a PlayStation.
But she'll play
a Switch.
You still didn't get her a Switch, man? Oh my
goodness. She said at one point in time, she's like,
a year you've been talking about it.
She said she wanted it, and then she just stopped talking about it, and then, you know what I'm saying? And so
you're trying to let it slide. You're like, oh, she ain't talking about it.
And she was like, I'm going to get it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get it. So I'm definitely going to get one this year. So That's a promise. But but yeah, no, I think it would be good. I hope that this is what the indication was, because a lot of people got pretty upset about the whole Luigi thing, and that's really good. That just shows that Luigi still gets some love.
He's
You know what
still
I'm saying?
there,
Not
man.
always Mario.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
As I am putting the poll up on Twitter, I want to hear the Don. What do you think about this? So now we know K Mega was withholding evidence, withholding information about a tweet saying Luigi is not dead. So with this cinematic, do you think it's a possible Luigi's Mansion 2? And do you think marketing like this, because it's something that they haven't done. Nintendo is all family and stuff like that. I've never seen them do kind of like this marketing tactic. Do you think this is a good marketing tactic that they should use and utilize like moving forward?
Sure, and it keeps them relevant as far as that stuff goes. And you know, what a better game than Smash Brothers, where it has that cross between all their characters, where they can do those sort of things. The thing is, funny story about Luigi Mansion. Actually, that was just supposed to be originally a tech demo for the GameCube to show off what the GameCube could do, and it ended up turning into a full-blown game. So it originally was never supposed to be a full-blown game.
So he still wasn't supposed to get his game, yeah.
No, he wasn't supposed to get the game. But but it was so well received that, so this is a true story. So it was so well received at E3, Nintendo went into overdrive because they already had the mechanics down. They just created the rest of the mansion essentially after that. So it originally was never supposed to be a complete game. So it's kind of cool to see something like that wasn't supposed to be a game, just a generic concept to show what the GameCube could do to turn into possibly a sequel. And I think Nintendo recycles certain games way too much. I mean, you can't not release a Smash Brothers, but you have other things in your portfolio that you can do, like a Luigi's Mansion, that hasn't been explored as much, and that can help give some of these other franchises they have a little bit more of a break in regards to that.
We haven't even gotten like a brand new Donkey Kong either, right? Like there wasn't it?
There
like,
was. There was
brand new.
I think it was Wii or Wii U, or yeah, it was something like along those lines where it was.
Wii U. That's we can see another one for the.
No, I'm not saying they're not overdue, but
Yeah.
they have done that. So
I know they had the tropical freeze, but to me that looked more like DLC in my opinion. I don't know why, man.
Well, but the tropical freeze is kind of the direction they went, instead of going back to the original, like, you know, computer generated graphic, you know, animations that they had before, and basically just kind of rendering it in front of a green screen and kind of overlaying it, that sort of thing, like the original one. So no, it's cool. I think this is a good thing. This is fan service for Nintendo fans, and I don't see anything negative from it.
I liked how it created a buzz, because like I said, they did a little shock value there, and it really caught a lot of people's attention. And so
I don't think it was necessarily shock value. I think it has something to do with the gameplay elements of the next game.
Like you'll be able to turn Luigi into a ghost, or
yeah, I mean, Nintendo does weird things like that with gameplay. They're not afraid to play around with like concepts and ideas.
That is true. It was just to see the buzz that came off of that, like afterwards, I was like, holy crap. But
yeah, you take it out of context, it causes people to lose their minds.
Well, with that being said, we're just about to hit the 2-hour mark, so I'm gonna go ahead. We do have some rather long outros. Again, huge shout out to everybody hanging out with us tonight. I know it is Saturday night, it is prime time, and we still had up around 100 people watching. Thank you guys for all the support. And I gotta say, to our special guest, So Shady, he is the speaker of the Sesh Empire. My bad. I told you I was gonna ruin that.
Let you be country.
Sesh Empire, and I feel like I was awarded entry into this empire. So on that note, the Land of Neutrality will welcome you as well. So Shady, you know I am King Neutral, and you forever have a pass. And dude, it's been a blast. I had a lot of fun having you on the show. Hopefully this won't be your last time here, man. Hopefully you come on again with us, dude.
Oh yeah, coming on my end here. I had an amazing time talking with you guys. I'd love to come back anytime. My schedule is wide open for this type of stuff. I have Nothing but respect for everyone on the panel, and it was awesome. I mean, everyone can
What about
follow
people
me.
on the panel who aren't here right now?
Cue the utter sound.
We'll see about Goldblum. We'll see what he's going to say.
I don't have it up. I don't have it up. Sorry.
Well,
No, he's a good guy too. I got nothing but good feelings towards the audience.
Okay.
You do that too good.
Yeah, that was way too good, man.
Wait, that wasn't the recording?
No. Well,
Man.
Shady, why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you? I know you're on Twitter. You know, put out your Twitter handle. Anything you want to plug, man.
Cool, man. Yeah, I am on Twitter. I am so shady at the Sesh Empire. I just want to let everyone know, everyone in the world, you're already a citizen of the damn thing. It's an empire. You don't have a choice. Why not stand up, get recognized, become an agent? Join me, and we will dominate social media. Like what? Okay, maybe we'll just have maybe just a good time. We'll have a fun time together. But seriously, I take it easy. I don't take any of this stuff too serious. I'm just out here to have a good time and share my opinions and thoughts on games.
Well, see, since it is an empire and everybody is a part of it, I hope that my acceptance, I hope I get like a VIP, maybe a free lunch somewhere down the line.
It's special agent bot already, bro. I mean, you walked in with a promotion. I also wanted to say everyone can find me on RDX as well, on Dealer Gaming's channel every Tuesday.
Yes,
yeah, that's where I got my start. I was lucky enough to jump in there. It was fantastic, and I've had a great time being able to talk with everyone else in the community. It's rad.
Well, dude, you are a natural. It's great to have. I love seeing kind of like newer people getting into like gaming podcasts and stuff like that. I see nothing but good things for you, man. And like I said, I can't wait to have you on again. And this time we will make Goldblum stay on the panel. He is not going anywhere. I guarantee it. And it's going to be interesting, dude.
I got my pet T-Rex ready for the meeting.
Nice. He will find a way. Predator, the man with that quality gameplay. I did put the poll up there. It is on my Twitter at xbot448. I'm gonna check in on it right now. Predator, you and K Mega are tied for the lead. So why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you and what you're up to for the week, man?
Hold on, let me vote for myself real quick. Okay.
Damn.
Sorry, I'm trying not to cough right now.
He did it anyway.
I did it anyway.
Yeah.
Predator _HOS on YouTube, on Twitter, on Xbox, on PlayStation. Great having So Shady on the podcast again. Thanks for showing up, man. I love RDX and what you guys do on that channel as well. I probably won't be here next week. It's my birthday this week, and I will probably be drunk Saturday somewhere. I don't know what time it's going to start, but I definitely will not be on the show next week. But I will obviously put gameplay footage up for. Well, actually, I'm going to win this week, so I should be off anyway next week. So I shouldn't have to worry about that. So, another podcast down, man. We're over 100 now. So
yeah, now it's like back to episode 1. We got to go and hit another 100, man.
So vote for Pred.
I should have put season 2, episode 1. Why didn't I think of that, man?
You see?
Ah, damn it.
Vote for Pred. I'm still trying to mooch a copy of Madden, by the way, if anybody's out there.
Anybody out there on Twitter with an extra code somewhere, man? Don. I think we've been talking. You might have something up on your YouTube channel or whatnot.
You keep pushing for that, but is not up there.
It's not. Is it coming?
No.
Is it coming?
I'm working on stuff, so I mean, it's gonna go somewhere.
All right. Well, in that case, why don't you just let people know where they can get a hold of you? How about that, man?
The best way to get a hold of me is the Don_KTR which is on Twitter. So anything I'm involved with, you'll see it posted there. And then follow bot so you can do voting or show your disgust that I am not in the voting this week.
Dude,
so
you
either
were
way,
winning gameplay. You cannot be in the voting.
I'm just gonna ask the question. Wait, no Don, and we'll see where that goes.
I've been trying to explain it to Crap. I don't understand. I don't know what way. Maybe Don. Maybe you can explain it to him. He is your super fan, man.
No, Crap's just an ordinary dude. No big deal.
Fuck out of here.
Yo, shout out to Crap Gamer, Mooch, Zaire, the rest of the family, and K Mega. You got your scroll ready. You want to let people know exactly what you're up to throughout the week and where they can get a hold of you and tell you your gameplay was
Oh man, they're gonna tell us it was lit.
You're gonna say
that gameplay was fire. Once you go and you see somebody slaughtering a room of people on a train,
I got Hitman.
then you know what I'm saying, all dome shots, you know that gameplay was legit. So anyway, go ahead and vote for K Mega. I will vote for someone else. You know what I'm saying, maybe Otter. But I don't have to vote for myself. I'm not that petty. So anyway,
you hear this, Predator?
He says that, but he begs for votes every podcast.
You know, he already voted for himself any damn way. I don't know why he's tripping.
He logged into all his accounts.
Megan, did you already vote for yourself, man? Let's be real.
Twice.
He said twice. He can't
All
do it
6
twice.
stock accounts have voted.
Mercy. Anyway, big shout out to Intro Media Gaming. Oh, I said it first. All right, there we go. You know what I'm saying? To check us out on the GRG podcast every Friday night at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, and 5:30 Pacific. You know what I'm saying? Just it's wild, it's fun. You know what I'm saying? So come check us out. Also, you can check me out on my channel. Go ahead, hit that sub button. You know what I'm saying? I'm close to close to that 2,000, man. So I'm trying to get to that 2,000, man, because that'll be great. That'll be great. You know what I'm saying? It got there a lot quicker than what it was for me to get that first 1,000. So,
dude, you noticed that, right? Like your first 1,000, when you started getting close, it felt like forever.
It did.
Then you're getting close to 2,000. You're like, damn, that didn't take long at all. Like,
yeah. So go ahead and hit that sub button, man. Definitely appreciate it. Also, man, you know what I'm saying? BGST, man, check us out. You know what I'm saying? The Devin the Gamer still lives. It will return. Don't know when, but it will return.
Dude, the Devin the Gamer, that's like that. It's like tracking Bigfoot in the woods.
Like Half-Life 3.
You only get like fuzzy pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like K Mega buying a Switch for his gals.
True. Pretty much. And then also, on occasion, I will do GRG Uncut. You know what I'm saying? Just waiting on Moxie and Avers to go ahead and get their things.
I thought GRG was already uncut, man. I don't. Like you guys,
that's unhinged. GRG is unhinged.
Oh, okay, all right.
You know, well, no, it's the only reason for GRG Uncut is because I want to have more guests, but we have such a big panel on GRG. Is that, you know what I'm saying, you just can't add people in there for you have like 10 people in there, and then it just kind of, and you know, when you're trying to give everybody something to say, and then like if you got somebody like 108 Dragons that'll talk all damn night, you know what I'm saying? So you know, like that's why we have 2.5 hour shows. So it's so that's why I do GRG Uncut and try to get more people to come on. That's even from the other side. I will be reaching out to PlayStation people, PC people. So if anybody interested want to jump on that, you know what I'm saying, please let me know. So anyway, man, thank you. You know what I'm saying, another Saturday night down. We'll see what we'll be playing on. I'll be streaming something tonight.
Destiny 2.
Onrush is free for everyone all weekend if you haven't.
You know what, I need to try that.
Check it out, man. It's a pile of easy achievements, and it's actually pretty fun. I wouldn't buy it, but
you said a pile of easy achievements.
Yeah, I love the way you describe that, man.
Yes.
But guys, it is Saturday night, and gamers got a game. I know.
Vote for K Mega.
I want to get the controller in my hand. No, you got to
vote for K Mega. Vote for World Peace.
X-Spot, man. Come on.
Just cut it off, man. You're just gonna be begging for the next half hour.
No, man.
Become an agent.
Vote for Pred is a vote for hunger. Is a vote for
I do have two
famine.
Announcements right here. I do have two announcements here, K Mega.
Oh, I'm just saying.
First off,
vote for bot is a vote for pestilence.
Wow.
Vote for herpes. Go ahead. All right.
Keep talking.
Dude, Overcooked. Hold on. In Overcooked 2, my favorite character, I call it the herpy. It's like the
lovely.
That's lovely.
I call it the herpy. I was like, you got to pick the herpy. But check this out. I am working on a new podcast. For people out there who are either new to YouTube, you're trying to grow, you're trying to get on, a show and really have your voice out there to be heard. I am going to be starting a new podcast. It's going to be kind of like in the beginning of the week. So if you're interested, follow me on Twitter. Send me a message or a tweet, something like that. Let me know you're interested. I will put you in a DM, and we will talk about exactly where that show is going. Plus, I will be on the Iron Lords podcast tomorrow 1 p.m., of course, it's the Lord's time. That's Eastern Standard Time. I will be there with Lord Cognito, King David, my boy Gaming Addict, and the rest of the panel. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to go in there. Hopefully we talk about nothing but Destiny 2, but I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, so I will be making a guest appearance tomorrow on the Iron Lords podcast. That is tomorrow, 1 p.m. on the Iron Lords YouTube channel. And with that being said, I'm just going to say it the way I say every Saturday, guys. We will check you out next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
I just beat Long Shot while I was playing this game. You know what I'm saying? But can't make it.